What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Today is Thursday, September 21st, day 51 inside the Big Brother house, and it's double eviction day. 2 people will be going home tonight during the live episode. Or will they? We'll get to that. But first, before we jump into everything else, DJ, I know it was your birthday just a couple of days ago. I only just saw the comment after I finished recording the last update. So let's get you today. A little belated birthday for good old DJ. Here's your birthday song. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. All right, let's get into the episode. Happy birthday, DJ. Now, as far as the episode goes, there's not a lot to really talk about. It wasn't like it was a bad episode by any means. It was actually pretty good. Like, I actually enjoyed some of the diary room sessions, and like, even though they're very scripted, like, I like getting some of the insights that we got into some of the house guests. Cory had a kind of funny one in there. America was really good too. Just everybody in general had moments that were shining in the episode, but overall, we saw things like the backdoor plan for Cameron and how everyone was hoping that would play out that way. He ends up being picked to play in the veto, so that kind of ruins the backdoor plan. But as long as he doesn't win, everyone is going to use it, and he would be the one who ends up going up. We then did get Felicia and Mimi, how they were not trusting Cirie and Jared that much anymore, and kind of solidifying their final 2. Which has kind of been a thing for a while, but it just in general, they like re-solidified that, like, no, we're sticking together, the 2 of us. As far as the actual veto competition itself, it was fun, I guess, right? It was definitely directed by Quentin Tarantino, and I'm sure America loved it, especially after her confession of how much she loves Cory's feet and toes. But it was football, right? Like these big feet that shot out big jets of water, and then they had a football helmet to catch the water in. They had to dump that into a bucket, kind of like the old slip and slide competition where you have to kind of transfer the liquid, and then eventually it would get a ball that would reach out. With this one, there was a little football that they had to get. Once they got that, they had to run the end zone and spike it in the end zone. People were slipping and sliding all over the place, getting shot with whatever kind of liquid that was in the face. Again, some people seem to kind of enjoy that, which to each their own. As far as the competition goes, though, Jag ends up winning with Cameron not too far behind him. He put up a good showing, tried his best. Jag does use it. Cam goes up on the block, and he should be the one who's leaving in the first eviction tonight. Unless something funky happens with this whole scary twist that they're putting on it. But we're actually going to talk about that even more once we get into the live feeds. Before we do that, though, I thought Thursdays after the episode would kind of be a good time to actually do every week draft recap. So, because since there really aren't any spoilers on who won HOH and veto and all that kind of stuff, it kind of makes it safe in a way to kind of talk about all the scores and everything, in case there are people that don't follow the feeds. So let's take a look. We can go and use our great website, bb.house. If you want to check out the scores and how everything's going on the draft, you can check that out. Links will be in the description, pinned comment as well. Big shout out to Morrow for putting this all together. It's just beautiful, all this work that he's done. And it does an amazing job of keeping track of everything. So for our draft over here, you can see our leading scorers are Jared, Cameron, Hisam, and it's interesting because potentially all 3 of the top score getters could be eliminated by the end of tonight, which is really interesting and very cool for the draft going forward. Because once we get into the actual leaderboard here, you'll see things are going to be changing now, especially if these 2 end up going tonight. Other than that, Jag doing very well in the draft as well with 9 points, as well as Matt. Both are tied there. Felicia with her HOH win that she had early in the season doing very well too. Bowie, good old Bowie and Cirie, Mimi, none of which have been nominated. So they're pretty much sliding along on the fact that they have not ever been nominated. They're kind of neutral in the game, right? Felicia, she actually suffers a little bit because she was nominated, and it's actually super impressive with Jag how much he is won and still been nominated so much. If it wasn't for that, he would be much higher on the board. And then further down we go, we've got people like America in Blue. You've got Cory as well down there, still alive in the game. But let's go and check out the leaderboards to see who is in the lead. We've got Brillo in a tie at the #1 spot with Insulin over here. Yes, that is their real name. I've seen them in the comments down below. They are a real person. They are tied with #1 with Brillo, with probably the best team of house guests you could have currently that are still in the game, except for the fact that Cameron's probably leaving tonight. There's a good chance that Jared leaves. So Brillo and Insulin will both be just depending on Jag to end up carrying them forward, which isn't a terrible person to have at this point. Jag kind of seems like that one who is the next big competition threat left in the game. So there's a good chance he can get a lot more points going forward. In second place, solo, we've got Stonecutter with 33 points. He's already lost Hisam, but he also has Jared, and Jared could be going as well in this double eviction, but he has Matt. So both or all three of these teams will at least have Jag and Matt still left to try and keep hold of their first and second places, respectively. Now, in third place, we've got Liv, and then we've got Donut Tech 10. Again, really good team with both Matt and Jag on there, but also Jared, who possibly will be leaving again. So that's another opening. If we go down to fourth place, we've got a couple of people here tied. Timothy, Christian W, and myself here with our team of Jared, Cameron, and Mimi. Good picks overall, except, well, we might be losing 2 people, and we're going to need good old Mimi to really step it up and hold down the fort for us. So it got us high, but we'll see how much further we can get. Come on, Mimi, pull out that win for the big points at the end. T-Gold over here, maybe out of it now. There's potential that T-Gold got the 4th place, and now will lose all of their picks by the end of the night. And then rounding out some of the top 10 here, we've got people like Lone Ranger and JC tied for 5th. Over in 6th, have you seen this effing movie before? I know who that is. It's kind of an inside joke. We've got J-Ro and Kay, probably Rebecca, Panda, Dud, Emily, Don't Call Me Chris, all tied at 6. At 7, we have Hammer and Stormy Jean. At 8, Jackson W, Alpha Cat, Jess, BB Superior, and Kim Spoiled Brat coming in at 8. And then at 9, this is where we also see some other teams that have already lost members, but also have a lot of members that could be going down. Reilly, Justice, Reilly? Maybe that's how you pronounce it. If I'm not pronouncing that right, I apologize. Brandy, Coops, we got Renzi, and then Annie Thomp. I might be pronouncing that wrong too. And then in our 10th spot here, we got a couple of people tied, like Jewelry, Wendy, Clinton. We've got Raccoon, PS Cheer, and Gracie. So really good teams. If you guys want to check out the leaderboards yourself at any point, you can check out bb.house. Links are down in the description down below. You can keep track of all that. I also really love being able to just look at the updates and go week by week, because sometimes you might go, wait, who was evicted week 6? And then you can go back and go, oh, okay, so we got, you know, Cameron, who was nominated, and then we had Cory, who was saved by the veto. And you can go back and look at the whole game just by scrolling down. It's like, okay, Cameron was used the veto to save himself in week 5, and then Red got evicted, and Jag was the replacement nominee. And you kind of see everything and how they played out, who won HOH when, and how all the points break down. So really, really cool website. Again, big shout out to Morrow for all this work that he's put into it. Very, very cool. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about too, we'll get to later, will end up being the scheduling, because there's some weird stuff going on with that. But I know what you guys are here for. Let's talk about what happened on the live feeds yesterday. And the reason why I felt comfortable doing a lot of that is because, well, there's not a whole lot to talk about, but we do have some things. Because the feeds did go down for a while with the halfway party, but they also went down for something else that we need to talk about. So first off, one of the big things that happened was the old 7 Deadly Sins. They were trying to have a meeting, but it didn't really get to work again. Just like the last time they tried to have a meeting, Jag just like never showed up. But eventually they did get Jared, Jag, Matt, and Felicia in there, while Cirie and Blue kind of went to do distraction duties around the house. And when it's just those 4, Jared, Jag, Matt, and Felicia, it's an odd grouping, right? Like it almost doesn't seem like it fits, but they are all in an alliance technically together, one that's not exactly true anymore. But they were just talking about, you know, what the plans are moving forward. Jared was kind of leading the charge, talking about how, you know, he's worried about Cory in America being like his big, you know, problem. If they were to win HOH, he feels like he's in a lot of trouble. And then as long as, you know, the others here end up winning, that, you know, he would be much safer. He ends up leaving Matt, Jag, and Felicia alone up in the HOH room. And they basically immediately go, yeah, well, Jared and Cirie have to go up. And if we can get them on the block, like, Jared's the one that's got to go. It was like almost immediately that they're like, yeah, like, he's got to go. Like, come on. Other than that, we did see America and Blue making a final 2 deal that they actually named, calling the Sirens. And they shared a lot of really good intel with each other. You know, America telling Blue about things like the crossroads that Jared was in with Cory, and then Blue telling America how she did have a final 3 deal with Jared and Cirie. And they both plan to keep a lot of this information to themselves. So we'll see how much of that they really end up sharing with Cory and Jared. Blue does seem like she is done sharing all of her info with Jared, but she still plays along with him to try and keep good, because she sees him as a tool now at this point, right? Something that she can use to further herself in the game and potentially take the shots that she needs. So it would be interesting to see. I didn't see them share more. America did fill in others later on. Who was it? I know it's in my notes here. I think it was Cory and Jag. Yeah, America filled in Cory and Jag, that Blue didn't want to put up Cirie and Jared, but she was okay with it happening, which kind of bothered Cory. He's like, well, if we're a team, like, we're supposed to be a team, right? If one person's not acting as part of the team, like, are they really part of the team? It's a thing. Other than that, though, we had the feeds go down for a little while, and it seemed like it was just the halfway party. We kind of expected that to happen every season. Whenever they get to that halfway point, they kind of have this big party for them. They'll have like cake and pizza and booze, and they just kind of get to hang out with the feeds off and just kind of let them celebrate the fact that they made it this far in the game. Shout out to Paul. You know, it's a huge accomplishment to make it this far in Big Brother. Every week he would do that. So we thought it was going down for that, but it was actually something else. They ended up getting some kind of a message sent into them from kind of like the tube that comes down, like the bank teller tube that they had. Sent them in a message, and it was kind of like a one of those like missing letter things. I don't necessarily know if it was a scramble, because that probably could have been part of it too. Think of, you know, that last like clue they've been giving in Survivor, where they get like this like parchment with like all like the blanks, and there's some letters and they got to figure out what it says. It reminded me of that, but they were also more going of it with just missing letters than it being a scramble. Very hard to figure out exactly what it was. I was able to get a few things because Matt seemed to remember it very well, because they only gave him the card for a few minutes and then they took it away from him. It wasn't like they got to keep it and figure it out, which then also makes me think it's not that important. It's more of just a hint. Jag also agreed with this as well, where it's like, if it was something they wanted us to figure out, they would have let us keep it, right? But they did kind of do their best to figure it out. Some of the letters that I was able to get, like in the spacing, Matt was actually kind of listing them off in the scary room at one point. It was like B space, and then ZO with a bunch of spaces, and then there was like a T space O space, or T space E space O. There was some long thing with IO, and then like one of the last words was like RES with a bunch of spaces, and then it ended in ED. And then there was a bunch of other things in there that he didn't really remember too well. But then also Cory and Jag were having a convo while Cory was taking a shower, and they were kind of going over what they thought. And some of the things that they were able to piece together were BB zombies are coming. Potentially something in the middle with shift to the game, maybe even double eviction. They both were kind of saying, I thought it said double eviction at one point. And then the final part, they're not 100% sure if that last word was reserved or resurrected, right? So it could be something like your place in jury will be reserved after the double eviction. That would make a lot of sense. Or the other thing is with the BB zombies and being resurrected, they kept thinking like maybe there's some kind of battle back. Now we know it's not going to be the pre-jury members who are coming for a battle back. Everybody who's in the pre-jury, they're out in the world, they're in the public, they've been having interviews and convos with everybody. Like it's not like they're in sequester at the moment, which if they were coming back, they would be in sequester and we wouldn't have heard much from them. So it's not going to be anything like that. But with the BB zombies thing, maybe it has something to do with like the two people who are evicted in this double end up becoming like BB zombies and they have to earn their way back and be resurrected, which could potentially be a thing where it's like a double, but it's like a fake double, which we've actually seen in Big Brother Canada. It was Big Brother Canada 9 with Tara and who was it? It was Jed. Tara and Jed both being evicted in the double eviction, and it ended up being Tara who came on back from that one, I believe. We all thought it would be Jed who would walk right back in the door, but it ended up being Tara. And so that could all be possibilities. After that is when the feeds actually really did go down for the halfway party, and they were down for a good bit. Eventually, when they came back, we had a few conversations here that we can go over. So there were lots of random chats just about like what the plans are and things moving forward. More talk about like that weird puzzle thing that they had and like whether or not there's a battle back and all that kind of stuff. Cory actually had told America, he's like, listen, if Cirie wins, I'm ready to throw everybody under the bus, like everyone. And like, he doesn't care. He's like, but that's worst case scenario. I'm not going to do that unless she wins. Kind of that break glass in case of emergency type thing. Excuse me. Blue had a very long cam talk where she just kind of talked about everything that's happened to her in the game so far. And then kind of getting eventually to like current events where she talks about how at one point in the game, Jared was the one with all the information kind of telling her some of it. But now the tables have turned. She's the one who has more information about what's going on in the house, and she's not sharing all of that with him. And she said, he's my boo, he's my showmance, like, I love him, but she didn't say I love him, but you know what I'm saying. That would be a thing if she said I love him. But you didn't say that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, she's like, he's, cool and all. But as far as the game goes, she's cut him off, right? But she also kind of contradicts herself a little bit because she says, that doesn't mean I'm going to evict him, right? Because he's good for my game. He's not going to be putting me up. He's kind of a shield. Also, he can take the shots that I don't want to take. There's going to be a time where I don't want Cory in the game anymore, and he'll take that shot for me. So kind of an interesting talk nonetheless. And again, just more of Blue kind of being a mystery, but I think the more I hear her do these like solo cam talks, the more I kind of understand her. Other than that, there was another little interesting moment where Cory and Matt were talking way too loud up in the game room area where they have the bumper pool just outside of HOH. And they were talking about, getting Jared out and how, next week, Matt, like, do you think you'll put up Jared and Cirie? Like, what do you think he's going to do? And Matt's like, yeah, like, I think I'm going to have to, but it's scary, right? Like, I don't know. And it's just about everything going down. And then the HOH room, like, slowly opens. And Cory just goes, hey, yo, what's up? It's Jared. Who goes, who's out there? It's just me and Matt. So Jared pretty much caught them. I don't know how long he was listening to him. I'm sure he heard at least some of it. But also it's not really a surprise to him that Cory would be coming after him. He might just assume like, oh, Cory and Matt were just chatting and like Cory was trying to get Matt to say stuff and Matt was just kind of going along with it. But still, Jared was kind of telling Blue, like, I am getting a little sketched out from Jag and Matt because they talk to Cory and America so much that's making me think maybe they aren't with me 100%. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. At the very end, if Jared wants to stay in this game, he has to win veto. It really feels like unless Cirie wins HOH, Jared's going up on that block. And if he doesn't win veto, he's going to be sent home. And if he doesn't get sent home, it could very well be Cirie who gets sent home. But again, there's possibilities where it doesn't end up that way. Maybe Blue wins HOH. I don't think she's going to try for HOH. I think she's going to just throw it because she doesn't want to have to make that decision. I think Jag and Matt are probably going to throw it because they don't want to make that decision. And they'd rather Cory and America win. And they're the ones who have to put up Cirie and Jared. But it's going to be interesting to see how that all goes. Again, I already mentioned how America filled in Jag and Cory that Blue doesn't want to put them up, but is okay with them going up. And again, she may be okay with them going up, but she also doesn't want Jared evicted because, again, she can see him as this weapon that she can use in the game going forward. Then eventually everybody just kind of went to bed early. Cameron should be the one evicted, Jared as well, as long as Cirie doesn't win HOH, maybe Blue. And then there's the potential that somebody could be coming back. Who knows? Now, I did want to also go over the schedule here because there's some interesting things that I just kind of wanted to talk out with you guys. So first off, we're right here on September 21st, right? This episode. This is the double eviction episode. Sunday, we have an episode. This Tuesday, there's no episode. Now, it's moving to Tuesdays because this day here, this Wednesday, September 27th, that's the premiere of Survivor and The Amazing Race. By the way, I was doing challenge videos, just kind of recapping the episodes. I last year had done Survivor and The Amazing Race as well during the season. But I want to pose the question to you guys. Are you interested in those videos? Because one of the things that I wish wasn't an issue, but when I post videos that don't get as much traction as the Big Brother videos, it kind of pulls these videos down. I would love it if it didn't affect that at all and I could just post whatever I want. But it does seem like it ends up hurting the channel more than it does end up helping. And I wish I could kind of grow that more just kind of organically. But it does seem that when I post those, it doesn't really get as much traction. Also, I don't know if this format really works well for those videos. And I kind of want to think of a new way to do it. I have an idea for Survivor on something that I could do with it and Amazing Race. Some changes. I was thinking about doing it with the challenge, but then things got really kind of crazy. But if you guys are really interested in it, I will try and get those going as well. But again, if they don't perform as well, I might have to cut them from the schedule just because it would end up hurting the rest of the Big Brother videos as well. But no veto episode. So what's happening next week, right? It's not like any episode here is extra long. I don't know. Could they just do most of it on Sunday's episode? Could they do a lot of it on Thursday's episode? Absolutely, right? will have to see the HOH from the double, right? So it also, I wanted to make sure I did this as well. I know a lot of people here, like I a lot of times just kind of assume everybody knows all the things about Big Brother, right? Like I just go, oh yeah, we've all been watching for years. But I know that's not the case. For some of you, this might be your very first season of Big Brother. So you don't even know how the double evictions work. We're going to have a normal eviction just like we have every other Thursday. Either Cameron or America will be voted out of the game. Most likely, Cameron. As soon as that's done, we're headed right out to the backyard and we're playing HOH. That HOH will then immediately have to nominate 2 people for nomination. After that, we go right into a veto competition. It is all of Big Brother in 1 week. After that veto, the veto is either used or not. If there's a replacement that needs to be made, that happens. And then we go right into the vote. So it is very fast paced. There's a lot of craziness. I usually like to say that double eviction episodes are kind of 2-parters, right? We're going to have this Thursday episode where we'll see it all play out, but there's a lot that happens in between commercial breaks and conversations. People will get pulled in the room and told the plan. So that's where the Sunday episode really comes in, and you get to see a lot of those other things that maybe we missed while it went down. So double evictions, I always kind of feel like are 2-parters in a way. So if we have all of that happens, plus another HOH that will happen on Thursday where we'll find out who the HOH is for this week, all of that will have to be shown on this Sunday's episode. That doesn't leave a lot of time for a veto competition and a veto ceremony. Maybe they do the competition and then they do the ceremony on Thursday. I don't know. Also, why is there no episode here? Because the reasoning doesn't really make a lot of sense to me either. Wednesday, obviously, is like I said, is when Survivor and The Amazing Race is coming. Tuesday, though, at first I thought, maybe it's just a scheduling thing, right? But I looked into that, and there's this new show called FBI True. It's like a docu-series. It's not even a news show. It's a thing that's been on Paramount Plus, but they're going to premiere it on CBS because of the whole writer strike thing. So why is there not an episode? Because that's airing at 9 o'clock. The 8 o'clock is free, right? It was, I don't remember what they have scheduled for it, but it's a rerun, right? It's not a new thing or a new thing that's premiering. So why no episode? It doesn't make a lot of sense. The other thing, you can see how things go from then forward. We have, our Sunday episodes like normal, but they're now at 10 p.m., delayed usually as well. We have the Tuesday episodes will start up in 2 weeks, I guess, and then we'll have our Thursday episodes, which are now at 8 o'clock as well, which, if you guys didn't know, they had been moved to 8 o'clock. So that's all normal. We do have this 75-minute episode. I actually, at this point, don't think it's going to be anything too special, right? I think it's just going to be a random 75-minute episode because of some kind of weird scheduling. Maybe there's more to it, and maybe there is some kind of twist, but I don't necessarily think there is. And then this is where things really start to get interesting. Now, I was under the impression that there was almost guaranteed going to be a battle back. And I know we were just talking about how, like, there's all this weird stuff that maybe there's going to be, like, some kind of battle back or this double isn't going to work. And that was based a lot on this final week here. They don't usually do 3 people for 3 episodes, right? Because by the time we get here, this will be the final 3. And if there was going to be a Tuesday episode, they would have 1, 2, and then 3 episodes where it's just 3 people. There's no content there, right? This Sunday episode will more than likely be the memory lane episode where they kind of look at like clips through the season and fights that happened. I'm sure we'll see the Jared and Cory fight. There will be, all the showman stuff and weird filler and things we missed, dire room highlights that didn't get shown. And then they'll start the final 3 HOH, right? That first part of the 3-part HOH, that'll get started on this Sunday episode. Then we go right into the finale, and there's no episode on the Tuesday, which when I originally was kind of counting out the days and like what would make sense, it made sense that this would be the finale day. Tuesday would be that memory lane episode. Sunday would be like a special eviction episode where the final four evicts that last person in kind of the veto ceremony. Whoever wins veto, they get the last vote, and that's the only one that counts. But with no Tuesday episode in that week, that changes things for me as well, as far as like, I don't know if they're actually going to do a battle back. But then also there's this clue about the battle back possibly being a thing with BB zombies and the resurrected. I don't know. There's a lot that we just don't know, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know in those comments down below everything that you think is going down. Other than that, though, here we'll end with our alliance chart. I do have to update it with the sirens for America and Blue. We'll add them to the board here as well. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the links to all my socials in the description down below, pinned comment. You can also check out bb.house if you want to keep up with the draft. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Yeah, just so much weird things that could be going down. I want to know all of your thoughts. Do you think someone's going to be coming back from the double eviction? Are both of them going to be gone? Do you think this message was just some clue for the double eviction that's going to be happening tonight? Or do you think it is something bigger that's coming down the line? Let me know. What do you guys think about these random Tuesday episodes not being there and how that's going to affect the schedule? I want to know all your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I don't know if I think I said that if you're subscribed here, whatever. Thank you guys. I'm going to get out of here. I will see you next time.